Hey guys, it's Vismal here. And your eyes are not broken. This what if is called What if Kana plays Saitama. And people who don't know who Kana is or Saitama, let me explain. You see Kana from his copy of the Dragon Maid. If you're still confused, I don't blame you. Let me explain. You see, Kana the dragon, if you look at she's extremely powerful for her age. And Saitama is the main character of an anime called One Punch Man. But this what if he doesn't exist. But let me explain. Kana's power level, from the looks of it, is at least dragon level. Dragon level threat. And for people who don't know, in the show One Punch Man, they have a threat level with demon being threat to city, dragon being threat to multiple cities, and etc. But when Kana was being super dangerous or blowing up islands, her friend Tora said, "Oh, they were just playing around. They thought that was normal human level." So I assume Kana is way stronger. So I think she's at dragon level threat or threat to multiple cities. Since Kana does this in her human form, I'm gonna assume in her dragon form, she's a small god level threat. In other words, she's not as strong as Saitama, but she's still as strong as in his class. Maybe on Earth. That's not important. So we're gonna start this what if. So one day Kana's chilling, but then she sees an orb. So she breaks it. And when she does, her father is furious. So she tells her to leave and never come back. And with those words, Kana thinks herself, she just goes to Taro. But as she creates a portal and then enters into a city, she looks around and asks herself, is this the world that Taro was in? The Taro was living in? But as she's looking around, she thinks to herself, I don't sense Toro's magic. But then she hears, run away, and it's a monster. And when she looked down and sees that people were either running away from her, freaking out saying that she's a monster. But then Kana remembers what Toro says, that humans will freak out at these saws like this in our true forms. So you should transform into a human form in the meantime. That's what she does. But as she's walking, can't speak, walking, a ball comes toward her, and it's more a butt-chin boy. He said pass the ball, so she passes it. She might look kind of fun. So she kicks the ball again with him, and plays a little bit, trying to hold back. But as she kicks it to the side, some sort of monster crab appears, and blocks the ball, and says, I finally found you, brat. The kids say, what do you want? And the crab says, I'm going to kill you for drawing nipples on me. He says, I'm sorry. But then Kana walks in front of him and she's memorized. But as the crab asks what's wrong with her, Kana's just there saying, giant crab, or drooling. The crab monster then says, buzz off! It smacks her into a wall. And the kid screams, but it does appear from the wall. Kana's just there standing. It barely even hurt her. Well, it didn't hurt her at all. So Crab Blante, the monster, says, how the hell did you survive that, You're just a little girl. The boy looks at her and says, quick, run away. But the Kana doesn't do anything. So she's supposed to play with the ball. But then the crab monster squishes the ball. And this upsets Kana. She then says, he's gonna pay for that. But the crab monster laughs. He says, the Kana basically teleports. That's when he realizes, she didn't teleport, she instead took his claw. And then sorry heard that. This pissed him off. He then says, you dead, you brat. But as he swings, Kana opens her mouth and shoots a small beam, then suddenly destroys the Crashmaster head. And this makes the Put-Chin kid shocked. Then asks, what are you? Who are you? And says she's Kana. She then says sorry about his ball, but she then takes the body of the Crashmaster and walks away. She's walking. She turns into her dragon form and gets ready to go home. But as she flies, she realizes something. When she turns into dragon form and gets ready to go home, she realizes that she's kind of more tired. She gets a portal, she realizes she can't. That's when she realizes she can't go home. But she lands on a building that kind of looks abandoned. She looks around and thinks to herself that her man is slowly going down. That as if it doesn't exist here. But as she looks, and it's also kind of getting cold. But as she flies, she sees a city. It kind of looks empty. And then she sees an apartment. It kind of looks empty. Even though it's not her, she enters thinking that would be warmer than being outside. But as she looks around, she sees an outlet. As she touches it, she gets sparks. Then she thinks to herself, does not man up as recharging her. So after looking at it for a bit, she plugs her toe into it and sits down. Thinking herself, I have some crab to eat. But she thinks to herself that either her dad or Toro will look for her eventually and take her home. But now we went on a 3-year time skip. Kana's walking around thinking to herself, why haven't they looked for me? As she's walking around, the remains of a corn monster. An old guy sees her and asks if you could buy some corn from her, not knowing it's a monster. Says yes. Claire says thanks, Kana, you're so sweet. Because this guy's always buying monster parts from Kana, not knowing it's actually monster parts and thinking it's food. But as she looks at the money, she sees the store remembers they have candy. So she goes inside the store and gets some candy while making everybody say "aw." As she goes to the checkout line, Lily asks if her parents know she's buying all this candy. But then hears a sound in a rumble. That's when everybody starts running while leaving Kana there. But as everyone runs away, Kana sees a giant footstep destroy half the building. And as she walks out, she sees a giant monster. Okay, that's when she decides to run up and sees the man in the lab coat saying, this is incredible, little brother. Your bones and my brains. You'll be the kings of this world. Kana says, he's really big. And then the doctor says, who the hell are you? Why is there a little girl on your shoulder, brother? Or pony, why does she have a tail and horns? Kana says that her name is Kana. Why did they start the convenience store? How is he so big? Humans aren't supposed to be this big. Are you a monster too? But the lab coat guy says, brother, get rid of that brat. But the giant smacks his shoulder and says, uh-oh. Then the giant sees his head and screams, brother! And he sees, what have I become? I become the strongest man, but what cost? He then sees Kana and says, this is all your fault, you brat! He then grabs her and throws her into the ground. He starts smashing her by punching the floor and stomping, not in that weird way. But as he looks at the ground, he thinks himself, what have I become? But then he sees some of the rubble move. She puts her bucket and Kana pop out. But before she's done, she looks in her pocket to reveal some broken candy. And she says, he destroyed her candy. She then opens her mouth to reveal massive teeth in a ball of fire. But he asks, what are you? Kana shoots a bomb, blows up the top of the giant, makes it fall on the city bee. But as Kana walks away, she says, meanie. But she's walking away. A couple minutes later, the Foundation shows up. Somebody asks if this was some sort of hero or something. Someone says it can't be. Maybe it was King? But somebody says, no, King can't fight. No, King doesn't fight like this. He fights with his fist. This thing was blown up and burnt. And that's when Meta Knight. And that's when someone says, what about Meta Knight? And someone says, no, Meta Knight's nowhere near here. As Kana's walking home, she walks to where she's been sleeping and thinks to herself, I don't know when Toro Dad's gonna take me home. I've been here forever. So when she sees a monster that kind of looks like a car, but she thinks to herself, that doesn't look delicious. She then remembers that she hopes that the corn monster she killed tastes good. As the monster is screaming at her, in the background says, might have some fun with you, but Kana says, be quiet, and slaps the monster. That's when Kana goes home and says that she's lonely. Monsters are annoying, but delicious. Like the monster in the woods. Or the monsters in her world. The monster here are kind of smarter. She thinks to herself, maybe I use my fire break quickly and kick the popcorn. Begin to popcorn. But as Kana goes to bed, she thinks to herself, I hope Toro and Ted will take me home soon. That she's lonely. But the next day, Kana sees some sort of monster coming from the ground. But after Kana sees him, she jumps down and eats him. And she says, he doesn't taste any good. And then the monster says, run! She's gonna eat us! As the heroes are cleaning up the corpse of the giant, Meta Knight arrives and looks at the corpse and says, who could have caused this? He then looks at the crater and puts it together the giant drew something there, tries to destroy it. But what he do survive, and then shows some sort of beam of fire or heat to eliminate the giant. That's when he says, this is kind of similar to an explosion a couple weeks ago. He then remembers from the corpse of some sort of purple monster. And for people who don't understand, that was Vaccine Man. You guys remember how it looks like something bit him, like you're trying to eat it. That's not a portion. One thing, Kana just laying on the floor and messing around with a plant she found. But then she hears a weird noise, and she realizes there's a mosquito. As she sees it, she thinks to herself, it looks yummy, so she eats it. But she's looking around, she sees more, so she starts following them and eating them. But what she doesn't know, that currently, Genos is looking for a monster. Also guys, tell me in the comments below when you see more fighting scenes or something like that. Like pure prisoners and stuff. But like I was saying, Kana arrives and she sees some sort of weird group of mosquitoes. Like there's a giant group of mosquitoes being controlled by something. But then, as a nearby thief is getting drained of blood, we hear the monster controlling the mosquitoes. She says, delicious. But then they hear, seems that you're controlling the mosquitoes. If I eliminate you, then they should all disperse. Since that, raising more food. She then sends a bunch of mosquitoes to kill Genos. Then Genos says, incinerate. That's when she says, who are you? Then Genos says, I'm the person who's going to eliminate you. And stay still. Then says, incinerate. The mosquito barely touches it. Then she charges at Genos and responds with, thanks for the hand holding Genos' arm. She then notices that her legs are missing. Then that's when he sees Genos throw her to the side. She flies up, she thinks so. If I don't end this quickly, and she's going to end up dead. She then calls all the mosquitoes and says there may not be any people nearby, but there's plenty of animals. She then calls her swarm to her, and that's when Genos says mosquitoes must not be the source of food for her, must be also a source of power. Good thing he's out of the area before coming here. And he hears, get back your food. Kana then jumps and eats the mosquito. That's when changing himself. But who the heck is the little girl? They just eat a mosquito? More importantly, what is she doing? That's when Genos looks at her and says, Crick, get out of here. The swarm is sentient. And he's going to eat her. Kana just looks at the swarm and drools. That's when he sees the worm come after Genos. But Genos says, incinerate. But as he burns it, he says, since she spoke, he thought she was someone attention. But she gathered her swarm for him to all destroy at once. Then that's when he hears. But as he looks around, he thinks to himself, good thing I can't speak, dang it. I'm so sorry I can't speak today, guys. Something wrong with me. But before he can finish the sentence, he thinks to himself, good thing I checked the area. The center area could have destroyed everything by radius blast. Oh no, wait, that little girl! Was this a little girl unharmed and her clothes aren't even damaged, since her clothes are made out of her skin. But as he sees the girl unharmed and the clothes are not even damaged, he says, how? But as he asks, what are you? He could attack, against the air, and slice by the mosquito girl. She then says, look how strong I am. She then cuts the building, but as she charging Genos and breaking him, she says, then maybe she will use his head as a trophy. But she says Genos thinks to himself, there's nothing he can do. Is he gonna die? No, he can't let himself die like this. He then says, I'm gonna have to self-destruct. And I'm sorry, Dr. Kusano. Can't pronounce his name, sorry. But then, this mosquito girl gets slapped in the building, leaving her almost dead. That's when she sees some small little girl just slapped her. She says, what are you? Kana's mouth opens up to reveal some sort of teeth before biting her and killing her brutally. But Kana then spits it out, says she doesn't taste good. But she's walking away, then he looks around and sees that when Kana slapped her, she broke through a building and created a huge shockwave. Then Genos put two things together. This girl is extremely strong, and she's a normal human being. Then Genos says, wait, who are you? And Kana says, her name is Kana. And Genos says, please teach me how to be strong like you. Show me how you became so strong. He says, oh, like a master and a pupil? I say, kind of. Before he could finish, he says, okay, then you're not my pupil. That's when Kana walks away with a happy smile. But as he walks away, thinks to herself, Naruto will be proud of me. She got a servant. The next day, Genos shows up. Kana lets him in. She walks on Genos decides to ask you some question. And asks, and you can guess, the first question is, how old are you? And guys, Tora is over 60 million years old. And Kobayashi is still kinda young, but some of her friends have kids. Let's say she's 23 or 24. And let's say Tora looks the same age. She's in her human form, every year, like 2 million years. It kind of looks 9. Let's say she's 27 million years old. I'm guessing about this. This is not canon. Genos says that she's so old. Kana says that she's pretty young. Because when Geno asked what she meant, Kana says the Mestoro is 69 million years old. Which makes Geno faint again. Think to himself that she's so powerful because she's so much older. She looks so young and still a child compared to others. But what if she's lying? For he knows, she could be really strong with some sort of genetic experiments. But then Geno says there's not any proof. But since he's kind of missing for her hair, enclosed a real tail, and some sort of horns. Geno says, yeah, this is proof. But I need to work on my perception magic. Because I need to make some comfortable. That's when Kana says, by the way, how are you okay? That's when Geno says, well, these parts are mechanicals. They can be repaired easily. Kana saying, oh, cool. With touching his arm. Kana asks, why is he, ask, how do you get them? And Geno says, I have a tragic past. Geno then explains the entire origin story and says, he's going to get revenge. The cyborg that killed his family. And I could barely hear him because she's been crying and she's then hugs Genos and says, don't worry, I will help you. But what they don't know, currently scientists watching the fight the other day. And then scientists ask how Mosquito Girl was killed. Doesn't matter, she's only a prototype. But as he's watching the screen, he sees that the thing that killed him was Kana. And as he's watching, he then says, this little girl isn't normal. You're extremely strong despite her age. It must have to be something with her background. He searches around the background and he's like this girl doesn't exist. And he must have her experiments. But there's something that kind of sounds creepy. But science says, shut up! And send more soldiers after her. As Kana is crying, Geno says, something is coming. But the giant grasshopper enters. Garrett says, huh? And Kana eats the leg of the grasshopper. He says, don't worry, I'll deal with the rest. And you see both of them knocked down, trying to eat one of them. But something grabs Kana and drags her into the ground, which makes Geno scream, can't speak. Kana, are you okay? Kana says, it's kinda actually nice. She's really warm. She starts dozing off. But then Genos hears something. He hears, you are not the target. That's when he sees the cyborg. He thinks to himself, is that the cyborg that killed my family? But he thinks, nah, it's not. But then Genos says, what are you gonna do with that little girl? And he says, that's none of your business. As Genos biting the sideboard, Kana is in a ground, feeling like a marshmallow and actually fell asleep. But Genos is dodging. I don't remember the full fight, but I'm gonna make a guess. The cyborg and tries to hit him. But Genos jumps over it and dodges, then jumps over him and hits him in the back. But the robot just turns around and smacks Genos. As he has a pin against the wall, Genos starts heating up and melting the robot's arm, and then breaks free. But as this is happening, the lion looks at Kana and says, did you fall asleep? And how does the almighty future test subject? Genos says, hold on, be careful, don't wake her up, she might be dangerous. Beast King says, like this little girl can be dangerous. And he says, do you believe this girl could be around your level? And then it kind of says, huh? That's when she says, oh, I'm awake. He says, wait, you're a dragon? The Beast King says, what do you mean? That's when kind of gets up and says, I'm a dragon too. The Beast King says, hey, don't mess around, you brat. As he swings, Kana dodges and says, never had a lion, are they any good? Then the Beast King says, what are you talking about? But he thinks cut in half by Kana. But the ground dragon sees this, he starts running or digging, saying that he wasn't, the little girl was something that dangerous. Why would they send him out their monster? Disguised as a little girl. But he thinks, something grabs him and yanks him out of the ground. That's when he sees Kana pulling him out. He's saying, he's begging for mercy. Please, don't kill me. Kana starts opening her mouth. Or he hears a scream in the distance. As she's walking, Genos sees him attack with the robot gorilla thingy. And that's when Kana asks, what's happening? Genos says, I'm interrogating. What about the other ones? Genos says, oh, nothing much. We're holding a paw of the Beast King. But guys, we're in the video here. But please tell me in the comments below you want me to include side fights like Bang, Others Fighting the Clay Monster, or Pure Person fighting Deep Sea King. But if you guys don't want me to, then tell me in the comments below. But now that I told you this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, check out my Discord and other channels in the description below. Or at the end of the video, so you can defeat all your minis in one punch! That was so freaking corny.